Bach art. Again, there's a strong pattern of inconsistency. I'm gonna try not to be part of that pattern of inconsistency, because a lot of things get swept under the rug. It's not fair. Somebody was just up over there. How you leave? It's the 4 o'clock hour. It's bright in morning, dark in morning. And see the consistency of the talk from me yesterday, but it was inconsistent because the microphone wasn't even functional. So I was just having like a regular talk to talk. Inconsistency I'm talking about is a long time coming. It's been too long trying to warn folks. Now look at us. Morning, folks. There's the lesson to learn from all the Avengers movies. Like, everybody wanted to be the main superhero. Every one person wanted to save the entire planet. So they had to work together. There's something strange about the consistency of Lex Luthor. Everybody keep giving that supervillain a second chance to do the same plot. I'm seeing the biggest difference in all reality from the reality when I was younger, and how consistent cartoons and animation was, to a point you probably had something brand new every time. Now it's always brand new. And then I always seem like everything once can't be that brand new. Same bald guy, same plot, destroy Superman, Justice League. And then, like, the last one I watched, I think I'm back onto that mode where you see other people's art as an artist and be like, man, I'd rather not just watch it just because it's drawn. I didn't like the way any of the characters was drawn. Like, DC animation. Y'all trying to be funny now? Just stick to being serious. It wasn't that bad. It was. It was like two random kids from the future. Lex Luthor fell in some water. And it wasn't even Mr. Freeze. It was Dr. Code. And blew up the machine over ice in the world, or the part of the place that was at. I don't even know what the plan was. It was icebergs or something. But he superpowered the machine and it blasted Lex Luthor in the water. So he got frozen over time. Seen this with Captain America. They tried to give him a Captain America spin-off and it worked out because he found who puts supervillains in a museum authentically surrounded by all the things they collected from all the other villains. Fully functional equipment. You got these two kids who really want to be in the Justice League in the future. Karate Kid and Girl with Wings and Prayers. And Break the Ice that was authentically keeping Lex Luthor frozen. About a 1 inch kick away from the ice. I woke up to it. Watching it. DC animation pick on me only through YouTube because I think they the people in charge of the inconsistent consistency, ensuring that their consistency is consistent. But if anybody is consistently inconsistent, they rest assured that inconsistency with this person shall always be. Woke up to straight hungriness. It's far away. I sometimes like to think, why? Because I would consistently speak on the subject just to jump around to the different subject, and the next subject, to the next subject, to the next subject. But in a consistent manner. I always slingshot right back to the start of the conversation. I've been consistent with that in all my conversations, any conversations I had, and start off talking, just like conversations goes, and then like you're in this explosion of excitement because a subject was touched on, and made it very much possible. Oh, third party balk. I was poking the eye on the corner of the screen. Like, what? But I can clearly see myself. I'm recording. So I need whoever is being very consistent in unaliving folks to stop. Because you're sacrificing in a very known manner. Physically, it's not much anybody can do because you're very consistent and sneaking and being sneaky. And not to mention all the social clubs, secret societies, folks jumping on board with. There's a consistency of people who gathered on the basis of one person. And we're so unfortunate about it. Who's going to be there, who's not going to be there, and your reasons why. In the future of Earth, in the movie Avatar, it's crowded. It's very claustrophobic. And we got another batch of humanity who's off on a planet billions of miles away, Pandora, doing everything better than a wheelchair. You know, other people in wheelchairs about in their future. It's a little insulting. In their future, the Earth there, it seems like everybody forgot about Earth. Like they plan on going back. So much destruction on Pandora. And whales showing off communities and piercings. I want to see our whales with piercings. Who makes those big old rings for them? And just put in their nostrils and something. The little whale holes. Who does that? Who's the fashionist? Who's over there dressing up whales on Pandora and giving them piercings? That's very consistent in the movie Avatar. Just being a movie and being consistent on like 3 of them already. And my inconsistency, I watched all 3, but I kind of didn't watch the Way of Water. I watched it, but it was always the beginning. It's going through the same thing with Fire and Ash. It's not a boring movie or nothing. It's just that when you start off watching something with family, you want to keep that consistency. More so, I just want to keep the consistency with my son at this point. Son and father. And anything else is spiral out of control because even if one thing is achieved, somebody consistent plan and your achievements and endeavors in life is happening. It's like all right, that's enough. You have enough time with this person. And then, and then, and then. A consistent thought of mine. Like, got more time with people. I'm not cool with the people just up and dying Ain't that been cool about that? Seeing the consistency of people who drive as if they are really good at hitting people with their cars. Even when you're approaching the curb of the sidewalk and knowing no oncoming traffic both ways, but you stop just short enough, and then you see a car, and they're like swerving for the advancement that you might, walk a little bit too far off the curve, like your air brakes don't work, and you tip and teeter onto the street. That's how close that person was, just like normally getting to the curb. Well, if he continued his walk, I could continue to hit this person. And there's elements like that every single day for no reason. And it is their reason. Whoever they're consistent at is catching up. Now, if you're constantly thinking about unaliving people or never seeing these people again, it's just not going to happen because everybody else that dies around. And then the great importance of these people to these people. And nobody want to lose their parents. Nobody want to lose their children. And most of all, folks, that's the two absolute things that's happening. The Pacifics are very much ridiculous. Like some people to punch in the face when you see the face that they make as if they're like consistently on your side. When you see that face, there's always been a face that's like, excited to see your face, or any face for that matter. And then like they give you a dirty look. Everybody only remembers how much a person complained. That is by a person's design. I am the one child of my parents who was like very much consistent and try not to hear them fuss or preach. And it was only accepted at church because I'm going to sit there and listen to my parents preach in church. But the consistency of it within the household, I see it calming, and then they start to talk. In the last video, I was going on about the pace of talking, and then I was going through all the majors, the minors, and the sharps of the musical scale. And I knew for a fact. No, I didn't. I didn't know. I thought I knew what was going on. Like, what I can hear in my ear right now is uses of the microphone, but later disappointed when I played the video over for review for myself. And bam, there's no microphone attached. And how it started, it was just like turned it on. I had the headphone in. And I just couldn't sleep. And I was like, I already slept, but lying in bed, pretending to be asleep, lying in bed. And when I say something really good and remember it, I go out in the world and sit on park benches. I drink me a Bud Ice, a Bud Light, and I talk about it some more. I like different detail and greater detail, but my outside voice is one of my inside voices. When I know somebody just listening, my outside voice is a consistency of, I know the Most High, He listens. But I read in the scriptures that, keep it short. I'm so tired of folks stopping me, telling me to stop. Or it's like when they don't do it, I'm already on a mode of conversation and then get stopped or interrupted by a question, more than likely rhetorical. Like one of those questions like, hey, yo, you know where stuff is in the store? It started asking me generally where things were in the store, where there's signs and numbers, aisles that's numbered. That's the same exact thing. And be the consistency of people who have access to your social security number. Not like using it, hopefully not, but they can see it. Yeah, I remember one time I applied for a job. It was after my father passed away back in 2020. And I was working at a Big Daddy's, something like that. Like one of those, it's a restaurant. But, like one other African American man working in there. But however, he, deals with his life and come down to payday. And then when I first started working there, he was like, we got them. And like in the past couple of years, and getting a job, I almost feel like those people start talking like they own a slave. That's offensive. I hate that consistency. Violence evolves, but invoking the violence, that's very much consistent activity. Nothing new under the sun. Fishing for a referee. As not being completely honest in thy relationships, one will seek a referee. A person who's consistent in telling you to shut up. Especially like where you're already talking, you're giving explanation into the question that was asked, I don't understand. You really don't seem like you did anything at all. This boy you brought into the world is very much excited to be around you, have you over, go to you. I understand that. For he is of my own design. So a lot of the inconsistent things that was going on in my childhood and I want not him to have is basically all not up to me without, proper cooperation with his parents, his mother. You don't ask for like money that way. You got your person of interest talking to me about you need help. What? A motherfucker need a mental health specialist, which is me. Ain't nobody gonna sit there and continue to be told no, 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 I don't need the help. Either being specific about the help they need. You extortionists. You making America not make sense. Whereas though people are suicidal. Right? There's only one type of person that can only get what they want. That's ridiculous. I just found out what trouble gets them the benefits. Like catching somebody with the wrong crowd, but they know that they always in the wrong crowd. Somebody will be there to swoop in to save them. Not stories of just like how you're always hanging around and then house get raided. Definitely it's drug dealers, people who deal in ways that households and buildings get raided. They're just sitting there. It sounds like you're the reason it's get raided. And you're just sitting there. And some police officer, detective, family member kept following you around to see where you go to socialize and hang out. And it turns out, a whole bunch of frat parties. And it's one of those frat parties just so happen to have drug activity going on. They kicked down the door and raided the place. And have fun with that life. And keep my son out of it. Consistency of going to church is very much more consistent. But I'm consistent about not liking somebody. And due to not liking them, everything not to like them about is the main reason I'm so consistent in not liking them. So everybody's kind of like behaving as I am towards this person. I'm not want to fight nobody, constantly fighting me. And then everybody see it right there. You try to have us talk to each other. I don't say nothing to that person. And whatever it is, where you need to apologize. I'm not going to have this right now. It's like, yo, it's happening. Just like it happened for Abraham father, for Aram father. Those figurines, those statues. And I talked about in the last video that this is what's happening. Taking those figurines, clashing them together, and making them fight. Taking the figurines and making them fight. It's me for the rest of forever. It's always me. McDonald's used to do this. McDonald's doing this now. But how they used to do it, they have action figures. Action figures. Completely removable of their limbs. Our action figures from McDonald's literally had mobility. And I use this and draw. My son used it to play with. And he was drawing it. I guess he figured out how I was using it. That's how kinetic energy is supposed to work, folks. Once you touch, somebody's bound to learn or be completely disgusted because what they touch, somebody touched it with wet, cold, slimy, disgusting hands and left essence on it. And when you touch it, it's disgusting. Time consuming. That's how consistent a germaphobe is. One single germ can ruin their entirety of consistency. Consistency. And the day before yesterday, as I worked And then like what everybody keep doing anyway. It's like assume. So I figured we're gonna do that. I'm gonna assume some stuff too. This time I'm gonna use my speaking voice. And in that freedom of speech. And people get so angry when they hear themselves in a tall tale, folklore, or mythology. That's why I like mythology, because constantly not even looking for these people in reality, right? Mythology is all part of history. That was some exaggerated tale of the guy who had to put his dog down. It's very emotional for everybody to see, but he had to do it. It was a big dog, so he choked it out. And he had nothing to put down stuff. Modern, modern society and world has today. Mythology is consistent. The act of a lie is consistent, but the lie is not. What's a lie? Like lie in bed, pretending to be asleep. Or I could say least, break that down. That means lying. Well, I ain't never thought about it. 'Cause nobody wants to think about it. Stuff people avoid thinking about, just saying it. Nobody want to hear that conscious stuff. Nobody want to hear that God stuff. Don't nobody want to hear about no stars or no zodiac signs. It makes me not want to be around, not like dead or nothing, but like I migrate to the nearest place away from you, whereas though like I will have this conversation myself. And if you bother me and tell me to stop, or I'm too loud, or like, well, I just got away from you. You said you don't want to hear none of this stuff I gotta talk about. So thereof, make use of your power of ignoring. I don't understand why that was so hard for one person to do. Like you put this whole fuss out about somebody whispering, saying stuff to you. As you put yourself in the vicinity and space of the person, like I'm trying to avoid everything about your presence altogether. And you're making an effort to be so violent and be so sure about the violence you do that this is the only thing I've been trying to communicate with anybody about. And the police can't even do their job. I want to see somebody get locked up. I want to see that person specifically, which I thought got locked up. I got locked up before, and me for 2 months. So I'm consistently trying to do that. It's either you never had a God at all, or you had plans to leave the grace and mercy of God. The moment you get a chance and nobody's looking, you can act as the devil itself. And chaotically, chaos, so you're doing the opposite. It's very much antichrist. Like, you don't believe in him this way? Suffer by this, suffer by that, suffer by this. I can't believe everybody missed it in plain sight. Just ignore it. 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 And like, ignored it. I don't understand. Maybe hand me a wooden stake. I'll drive it into the vampire heart myself. It's always easy to spot somebody who looks at you disgustedly, especially when they walk by. You ever catch them like that? It's ew. What I do to you, ugly? Like, how you know what the devils smell like? I would assume it smell like a rat, or like, somebody who sleeps with dogs or lay down with dogs. It's just like dry dog. It's the opposite of the wet dog smell. But some animal that produces the musk, other than the person's personal body odor, a consistent must of a mutt. I don't believe people. I believe God. People, for people seeing is believing. As in, I see people. I believe people are there. But I don't believe people when they start talking, especially in an inconsistent manner. Like if I'm consistent about the way I talk, and then you're consistent about the way you talk, and then the only thing that ties us together is whatever social environment is available, as in workplace, as in like ball settings, as in like church, as in like building, as in like outings out at the park, or some type of attraction where people are attracted to, in the real band of just like walking destination to destination. All these factories where people could be oh so social. But the way I talk causes people to what? Call somebody. Help, help, he's talking. I don't like invite myself in conversations. And then I don't like the way I get invited to conversations. And then when I give my answer, it's the most standoffish response ever to receive. And to why don't I say, like, that's why I shouldn't have said anything at all. I hate humanity when you do things like that. Oh, who invited you to say something? Saturday Night like Live, I was watching recent season, and they got a family like that. And just rude. And somebody is not being rude. Okay. And ruining our conversation. Anyway. it's, uh, it's not even funny when you see it in real life. It's funny when it's planned and orchestrated to be funny and to witness and see it. And like, I can't believe people, if they do act like this, they conspiring and then planning murders. Like, hey, I'm home. Okay. Thanks for ruining the conversation. Like I was saying, there's one person who know he does it. I would show interest in a woman naturally. And she just naturally got me all, oh yeah, let's have a conversation. Let's talk. And this Negro literally does that, like somebody about to fist fight for the attention of women. And he's so consistent. Like, you know you're annoying. I don't even have a social battery. I leave it some places. I don't take it with me. And if I so happen to be in that place where I left it, I might pick the social battery up. I know how to socialize at house parties and big events like that. Whereas those convinced, it's consistent that my being there is very much to my confidence that Everything is going well. All I got to do is not be like any other party goers who think they got an opportunity not to party, but find ways to uninvite themselves for the future. Was consistent. Somebody was consistently taking pictures. So the consistency of party presence slimmed. We don't like the way y'all was partying and started putting people on the spot of embarrassment. No one feels like being embarrassed. It's embarrassing. When I purchased me a basketball, everything about having a basketball was basically just to have one. I didn't have no special ties to it. I just wanted to not lose playing basketball. Consistent. Got a basketball, and I don't know what happened to it. They swapped it. There was a bunch of basketballs in the area, and they knowingly swapped my basketball. They put their basketball near my basketball, and when it was time to retrieve my basketball, in which we were not using in the game, I picked up the wrong ball. Nobody feel like this type of thievery. Oh well. I don't even got the ball anymore. That's how much it wasn't my ball. People kidnapping. For real. That ball pretty much took its own route. I don't remember throwing it away. I don't know. I did. I wasn't going to throw it away. Did throw it away. I just decided I wasn't the original owner of it and lost itself. I got very much consistent and not traveling with me anymore because it was stolen. Just opposite stolen. I had intentions of picking up my ball that I purchased. Somebody knew if they placed it right where I thought I had it. And by throwing other basketballs in the mix. Probably believe they can free themselves from not actually stealing while stealing, trading and swapping the basketball. This is very much how consistent somebody is. Through my inconsistency of not picking up what I put down from the time it was purchased. And to only spend time in the eyes of somebody who, ooh, I want that for myself. And destroy everything around just to get it. Was that part of Ant-Man and Wasp? When Scott Lang got super big and he took the briefcase or the device from the man in his super big form. And he's all like, let go. You're embarrassing yourself. Like, that's how much of a big deal it's not to want what somebody else got. Because that's what you're going to look like. You had to get all giant and you're going to take it from the person who's absolutely and literally smaller than you, but they was making it very difficult for you to have it because both was regular size. This person already has use for it, but it doesn't belong to them. So the worst thing that can ever happen is some giant person showing up and taking what does not belong to you. And that's how real God is. He ain't showing up with no giant finger to take away what does not belong to you. An entire record, entire sheet of life living, and things you weren't paying attention to, and things that was paying attention to you. Some giant hand took away. Don't belong to you. July 4th, 2019. It was a book bag. A bunch of hands took it. It didn't belong to them. But when I went to go retrieve it, everything from me leaving the bag that day and then getting back to getting the bag that day by the design of some peoples who don't recognize an emergency, and they thought an entire seizure was a performance. And the consistency of any and everybody who would find this funny way past the time it happened and get upset when I mention, hey, y'all remember when I was being killed by the entire community of people? Invisible knives. Watch people's success. You see what they could have been doing anyway before they bother you during the time when you was doing what you had to do anyway. Help. better be the last time I have to mention this subject matter ever again. Stop helping those who are very much consistent into destroying your livelihood. They got a creative bone in their body. It's fixed on destruction. So much I can't take my own advice. I don't help. Constantly witnessing consistencies and inconsistencies while minding my own consistencies and inconsistencies. To real pop questions. When I ask them a question, how many licks does it take? Still think the owl said twoo and not two. Well, humanity failed. Tricked yourselves into astrological politics. And celestial bodies are getting involved. Starting with moons. FM radio. Signals from Jupiter's largest moon in Ganymede. Ganymede. And earlier within last year, allegedly, Saturn's been, no, there's been another. There's Europa been sending off radio signals to Earth. And then what do we know Jupiter as? But to the Greeks, they call it Zeus. Let's see. But I could leave it right here because that's my hour. Remember, folks, consistency and inconsistency. Somebody's very consistent and inconveniencing folks. There's so many C's in this octave thingy. Um, making sure everything gotta go the way it goes. when I speak these words, 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 when I speak these words. Consistency. Ooh, consistency. You like cheese? Do you wear jeans? Have you sleep? Do you dream? If you don't do no dreaming, how do you see? When you're awake, are you consistent on being fake? Do you change the simple ways you live a day? Has it really gone unnoticed? Have you seen the stroke of broken hearts? It scribbles everywhere, like the veins that's going through that chair. How come I didn't say your arms? Because I went to hospitals and hospitality was not even there, just people who really like to see the veins in your arms and take your blood. The new vampires are definitely in desire of hospital jobs. They even show up at your workplace to tell you we need nurses, not you folks who are cashiers at a dollar store. We need nurses who will be able to help somebody stay alive, and hopefully it's for a long time and not for no check on both ways, 'cause I can't deal with nurses who are nurses that are nurses who are nurses. Just not my nurse. There's somebody nurse who is a nurse who is a nurse for someone who need nurses. Showing up in stores and causing all the trouble to cashier. All I want to do is take a break, leave out and climb back in. Not hear nurses requiring nurses and getting rid of nurses when they're just nursing. And the nurses that ain't nursing right, they kick them out of nursing and follow them where they go and see it's still not nursing. Earth ain't even no big old nursery. If it was so, people will not decease or cease to be physically. My brain wants me to still believe that when you get cremated, that means that I don't want to see. So a person can definitely fake their death around me. Like I want to see a body lifeless. Furthermore, see a body get burned to ashes. It's just not me. I don't care to see. Why not put a movie in make believe? This is what my father is teaching me. If you don't see me physically, just think I probably fake my death and I'm living somewhere in Germany. I don't care what you do with your life as long as you're not trying to take your life and others. That's how modest I am, my brother. Don't you tell me that our parents wasn't teaching modesty. Did you see the forearms of our father, Gorilla Lee? That's genetics for you. Or I would have gorilla forearms. I got Muay Thai forearms. I'm really good at handheld Phillips screwdrivers. So watch Step Brothers and pay attention. Prior to this one part. Get up, Brendan. You're not dead. You're faking. Punch somebody in their butt. You knocked him out with a shovel, bro. You try to bury him. You got it like, zombie. How dare you challenge reality? To inconvenience me. How dare you challenge reality in that manner? Who sent you? While I'm here, I might as well bring it up. January 22nd, within the 13-month calendar, if you have a 13-month calendar. I know things over on the east side of the planet. There's a lot of countries over there with 13-month calendars. I'll tell you just 2 or 3. I like being reminded of the smells of the 90s. There's a certain sense that we have called touch. And I believe when you talk about things, you touch on a memory and it produces the aromas and the frequencies that existed during a time we no longer are, presently in. But to the fact that it has happened and it's there, it's always going to be there. If you want to go back to 1990, find you a high quality time travel machine. And hopefully it's a device and not an actual machine, because the machine will go with you and then you will have to be with the machine all the time or throw a blanket over it. And hopefully nobody unreveals the blanket and then see that there's a time machine. And then you don't have a way back to your time. And that person probably take the time machine and go further back in time. And that's what happened to the first time machine. Exactly what happened to the first time machine. Somebody saw it, hopped in it, beep, boop, bop, boop, bop, and it just kept going further and further back in time Like nobody wanted to go to the future and meet us right here or something. I would travel to the future with intentions in mind that I'm the president of the United States, and then zoom, use my time machine where I'm like very much intentional in mind to be the president. And however time goes, whereas though I'm shooting myself in the future, I'm going to be in the White House, in the Oval Office. And then, like, for me, I'm going to be like, yo, how I even know this is the White House, this is the Oval Office? Or somebody just, like, basically gave me presidency because I was the only person just, I don't know, standing there. He looks like he's thinking about being the president. I don't know. Let's just put him in the Oval Office. Hopefully he'll wake up in there one day. And then I wake up out of my coma. And I time travel. And I'm like, wow, it worked. I'm the president of the United States. Hey, guy, what are you doing here? I'm the president of the United States. No, you were in a coma. And you were just standing there. And you looked like you wanted to be the president. It looked like you were thinking about being the president of the United States. So me and the guy who found you standing there placed you here in this Oval Office. This is the real Oval Office at the White House in Washington. Where did you even find me standing in the coma? I remember thinking about it and intentionally wanting to be a president. And then I'm not going to talk about it, but apparently time travel exists when you're consistent and you're working towards your goals of becoming the president of the United States. I was a politician. I was a mayor at one point. I don't remember even leaving Baltimore, but I remember a time when I left Baltimore to come to DC, and I think that's pretty much how I got here. It was autopilot, just autopilot myself. And the whole time, you two people tell me I was just standing there and I looked like I was thinking about becoming president. Can argue and fight with people who have already earned their checks for being molested. And they just got like this business plan where as though they, I don't know. There you are. 1 hour and 20 minutes. This signal was not brought to you by Jupiter's largest moon, Ganymede. For this is not FM. For this is not AM. It most definitely is 5:15 AM on this part of Earth. Like I'm constantly seeing the time zones. You notice that how latitude that is. time and even longitude. That's traveling. That's longitude. But as far as time itself, where you can look and it's 5:15, that's latitude. And you need longitude to get there. So like 2 hours ahead or 2 hours back. You know what 2 hours ahead is? Like 3 hours ahead is? From this point, 3 hours ahead, I still look back that way because it's in like Africa somewhere, one of those countries. There's one person with the name Nazareth. And this is like, is that your last name? Or are you from Nazareth? Like, the real place over there. This will not be consistent. I got caught studying. And the brain won't keep studying it. Still got some catching up to do. As far as financial races go, stop taking my money, yo. It's not even cool. I don't even know how the Social Security works. In transmission.